Guys, so we have a game which is Gwent. It's a G with a crown. For those who played Witcher 3, it's a game of Witcher 3. It's the in-game game of Witcher 3. I'm pretty sure a lot of you also played this game Gwent in Witcher 3 because a lot of you played Witcher 3 and it's one of the quests, so you probably have tried it already. For those of you not familiar with Gwent, Gwent is Gwent is a card game with specific mechanics. Yeah, specific mechanics mean, but this is something we will be able to see if we go into the game, which we'll do now. Yeah, but in order to start the game, you have to get at the moment a beta key access. Yeah, because I think it will still be in the beta phase, in closed beta for another, I guess, 2 months. Yeah, but good news, there are a lot of beta keys out there. So they have like 100,000 beta keys, and they release whatever 15,000, 20,000 beta keys every week or so. And the reason for that is because I guess they just want to make like the restriction to 100,000 players doesn't look for me, or doesn't seem to me that they want to restrict the gameplay. But for me it looks like that they want to do whatever, yeah. So there are a lot of keys, enough keys, and you can just get them for free. If you cannot get them for free, you can always buy one for €1. So if you don't have one and you really want one, do yourself a favor and don't wait a few days, but just buy yourself one for €1. Then you get a GOG, and then you can start the game. I mean, this is not a free to play thing, because I don't want to do all these things all over again. But what you will start with is you will start with few kegs, and these kegs you will be able to open. So we have 150 gold sitting here, so I can open you one keg. How this works is you go in the shop and buy yourself kegs, and then you can open these kegs. Probably a lot of you will be Hearthstone watchers, or old Hearthstone watchers, which means I will use some definitions of Hearthstone here to make things easy understandable. So these packs are like boosters. This is a rock troll, by the way. Rock trolls are strong minions in Witcher 3 as long as your Witcher has a lower level than 10. So you can open these packs. And these are basically booster packs. Very similar to Hearthstone. Also 5 cards. But here comes the catch. So, what is very good. You open 4 cards, but the one with the highest rarity, you will be able to choose. I mean, these are only 3 rares, but you can see that we don't even have 3 of each, which means in our case, we are missing one of those. I think actually they are duplicated, so it's not exactly true. Yeah, we have them in a different picture. So maybe just take this one, but you can complete your faction really quickly. So if you want to build a specific deck, you can just open kegs, and you can always pick the rarest card of the faction you would like to play, which means you don't need that many packs. Just think about it like this: in Hearthstone, you get duplicates over and over and over again, and then you can dust them for a ridiculous price, ridiculously low that is. You can dust epics for 100, thumbs up, and then you can craft those for quad the price. With legendary same, yeah, you can disenchant them for 4. What I'm saying is, doesn't it feel incredibly shitty to disenchant things in order to trade 4 to 1? That cannot be a lot of fun, but in this game they solved this thing by doing what I just mentioned. So you won't be in the urge to disenchant very often, yeah, because you can basically prevent and dodging getting too many doubles. So let's take a look at the collection. Yeah, so you have factions, and factions are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at the moment you have 5 factions and neutral cards. Neutral cards can be used in any kind of deck, but other than that, you will need to choose one of these factions, and they are all doing different stuff. Basically comparable with Hearthstone and classes, but not really, because it's kind of comparable, okay? Yeah, these are classes basically.
Oh, okay.
It's like classes in Hearthstone.
Is there heroes?
They are also leaders, yeah. So basically, okay. I mean, if you want to have a comparison, probably leaders are like heroes in Hearthstone. But first of all, you can choose different ones, which are also doing different stuff. And the classes are also doing different stuff. Yeah. Now I was just wanted to say that the hero abilities are really completely different. Yeah. So they are not only a little bit different, but they are really doing different stuff. And regarding classes, they are also inherently different. So it's not like a little bit of taste. Like they are really completely different. Yeah, and this gives it really. I mean, you would assume that they would have a hard time balancing those classes, but at the moment they are really doing a good job doing so. So it's indeed the case that you see all classes being played. So monsters for sure, Nilfgaard for sure, Northern Realms for sure, Sociatel, yeah, definitely, and Skellige for sure. So you have all 5 classes being played and a lot. So it's not that one of these classes is completely rubbish or something, and it's also not that one class is specifically completely owning or something like this. Good. So maybe short words to the deck building. So how do you do a deck? So you click on the deck, like in Hearthstone, and you have these classes, what we were already talking about. 5 classes. You can choose whatever you want to play. Let's assume you would like to play Nilfgaard, for example. And these, additionally to the hero, they also have different class traits. So not only is it a different class, but you have different hero abilities and different class traits. And this aspect is obviously more complex. So you can choose your hero, and they are also doing different stuff. You can use your hero power once per game. So usually you pick Maurice, Morven. If you go, for example, this faction, and this faction is usually, I mean, it's Nilfgaard, and that faction is usually Control. Yeah. And how you build a deck is you put in 4 golden, 6 silver cards, and the rest is bronze. So, which means it gives you a lot of ability to play around with the cards. And one thing which is really cool is that the cards are pretty much all playable. So, if you take a look at those cards, there are not many cards which are really doing nothing or which have no use at all. Yes, some cards are being played less, and usually the basic cards are played the least. But what I'm saying is, you could play them. It's not that you play that and suddenly your deck is so super bad, but you can. They basically enable different themes. I don't want to go too in depth here, but it's really great, like from a design perspective, because you usually don't have like just these power creep cards which nobody can use. But the cards you got from your packs you can usually also play. And that leads me to this next point. You should not disenchant any cards. Yeah. So no matter what you do, please just do yourself a favor and don't disenchant anything. Okay.
So you say there's no OP cards, like heavily OP cards or something like that, or underpowered?
Well, yeah, slightly underpowered, slightly better than average, but yeah, exactly. There's nothing OP, and there's also nothing completely underwhelming. So that's pretty good. Now people could argue, yeah, but they are still in the beta, so they can make adjustments more frequently. But first of all, they also do those adjustments in time, yeah, in a timeable fashion, which is pretty cool. But second of all, from what I see and from what they do, I also have the understanding that they have the ability to balance the game even later if they have less balance changes. So, I mean, that's of course only a wild guess, but I mean, seeing that they balance these factions in such a good way within 4 months or 3 months of beta testing time tells me that they know what they are doing. That might be a misconception, but I really believe that it's not easy to be able to balance 5 factions in such a way within 3 months. And they succeeded in it. So if they succeed in it this time, well, chances are that they might succeed in it another time and another time. What I'm saying is it's not like a crapshoot. It's not like, yeah, okay, sometimes you are lucky, then you have a good expansion, and sometimes you are unlucky and then you have a bad expansion. Well, either you're capable, either you have a capable team, or you don't. If you have a capable team, well, probably a lot of expansions will be a success. Or you have a team which is, let's say, not that, how do you say, not that insanely aware of what they are doing, exactly what they are doing, or let's say, not that insanely competent in balancing purposes, for example, and then that will be just worse. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then you can basically click these cards together. So also here you have again in every slot you have neutrals and class specific cards.
How do you tell them apart?
I guess it's this sign here, the black one on the left side of the card.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So the first thing is, how accessible is it? Like dust-wise and such. So you have three things here in Gwent. One are the booster packs. In this case, they are not booster packs, but booster keks. Okay, and this is the dust here. Yeah, this is dust, and that's like gold. 100 gold converted to keks, and the price for the keks is the same like in Hearthstone. Okay, so pretty much everything the same. The card dusting to dust cards is only half the price, but I mean at the same time you also only get less dust from dusting, which means okay, that is whatever. That's probably very equivalent to Hearthstone. But what is not equivalent to Hearthstone is the pace in which you can earn these things. Yeah. So in Hearthstone, I mentioned it before, you have roughly an hourly salary of $20 cents, maybe 25, between 20 and $30 cents. So that means if you dedicate yourself every day 5 hours to Hearthstone, at the end of the day you probably have $1.50, which means 150 gold. Yes, if you do one or the other quest, maybe with 5 hours of gameplay, you might also have 170, 180 dollars, but you get the point. $30 cents per hour. Which means, for a full collection in Gwent, you need roughly 500 bucks, let's say. Yeah. So these 500 bucks for a full collection in Gwent are pretty similar and equivalent to the dollaro cost of having a full collection in Hearthstone. Yeah. So that's the same. But what is not the same is again the pace. So a free-to-play player or a player who doesn't want to invest too much money, he can grind Hearthstone for $30 cents per hour. Which means if he wants to have a full collection of Hearthstone, he needs to grind 1,700 hours. And not infinitely, because expansions are also rotating. Which means he needs to spend 1,700 hours in the game within, let's say, every year. Which means an average 5 hours per day. Makes it possible, but very hardly as accessible, I would say. If you play Arena, you can get it faster. So if you play what is not what you, I mean, let's assume you wouldn't enjoy Arena that much, but you are extremely good in it, you could also play Arena for a little bit more than $30 cents. Yeah, but whatever. Okay, in Gwent, you have a roughly salary of $50 cents to $1 per hour, which means if you, but it's rather closing down to $1 per hour, which means if you play 5 hours per day, you basically earn roughly $5 in keks, which means if you play Gwent for 100 days, 5 hours a day, you have your full collection. So within a quarter year. You could say, oh, a quarter year, I mean, that's still too long and such, but I don't think so. I believe it's extremely fair. Yeah, I believe it's extremely fair. So much to the, to the payment, and you get really good rewards as well. You get really, really good rewards, and also satisfying rewards, but that's a different story. So let's continue with the second thing before I take a look at the chat, with the second thing you mentioned, which is the artwork. So the artwork. Yeah, let's talk about the artwork. The artwork, guys, is freaking amazing. So if you think about that, this game is basically from the same people who basically built Witcher 3. And for all those who already played Witcher 3, if you didn't play Witcher 3, just take a look at the ratings or ask people or friends which played Witcher 3. The game is awesome and it's really made from extremely capable people, like extremely capable people. So how does this transit into the card game? But exactly like this. Just take a short look at the artworks. It's just freaking amazing. Specifically if you go into the factions. So you have these artworks and they are really good. Yeah. They are detailed but not too much. Yeah, okay, whatever. I mean, it's a card game and it's very comparable to Hearthstone. But what is not comparable to Hearthstone is what they also have expertise in, which is doing insanely good graphical stuff. So not only do you have normal cards, but you also have premium cards. Yeah, and premium cards in comparison to Hearthstone is a pretty completely different story. Yeah, so in Hearthstone they become a little bit golden and then they are a little bit animated, which is kind of cool. It's a nice gimmick and such. But I guess if you invest a lot of dust for a card, maybe you would like to have more. So what they do is they really reward that. I mean, if you're a role, but no, they really reward that. Yeah, we can just take a look at the different cards and what they do. So in the moment you craft cards premium or golden. Of course, that's really expensive, so I wouldn't exactly recommend that. But what I'm saying is they are really different. Yeah, so they become animated, but they become animated in kind of I mean, I don't need to say much, right? So this is kind of lightning bolt, but it's really looking like a lightning bolt. This will be also with colors. So at the moment it's kind of without colors, right? Should we just craft it to see how it looks? Yeah, let's craft it. So this would be how it looks, which is a pretty sick lightning bolt if you ask me. Or something like this, a Ragnarok, but you see really the elements fighting. So, no, I cannot craft it, it's too expensive. But it would be really sick. Okay, so, but not only do you get the animation, but what is really awesome as well is that you get an intro animation. Which means once you open the card, it's doing something before it goes into the stale mode. So for example, this guy, this Gerard R. And you see, if you open him, he's doing something before he goes into the standard premium card mode. Or for example, this vampire. Yeah, so the raven comes to his arm. Or is Triss doing something? No, she's not doing something. But you get the point. So you open the card, and the card is doing something before it goes into the stale mode. And not only this, but they also, I mean, usually cards don't have a sound. But if you make them premium, they get a sound. So here, for example, so we have here Birner, and usually she doesn't have a sound. I just increase the sound level. This is how it works then, yeah. What I'm saying, pretty sick. Yeah, you see how much work and how much love is in the game, and the card would then look like this. Yeah, so in game it would look like this, also animated permanently. Yeah, let's go to the next topic. But it's really cool.
He's pretty cool.
He is pretty sick. He's
burning
and then laughing. Oh, ha 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 ha. And with sound even heavier. Yeah, it's pretty sick, guys. What else do I like? Yeah, I also like the elf who jumps from the this elf.
Yeah, he jumps to shoot her. Yeah.
He jumps like shoot.
How much value is he? 6 plus 6, 12.
He is going.
Yeah, but no, but he's better because he can remove Gen. Yeah, he's one of the few guys who can remove Gen.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I would even argue that this is worse than the guy who deals 5. There's a guy who is 7 and deals 5.
Okay.
I don't even know, is it? What class is there? 7, 5? But whatever, doesn't matter, guys. Okay, so you got that. And The cards that have different arts are all panoramas. Oh really?
What?
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, different arts. Like you have sometimes these.
Yeah, I know some cards that have different, like the horse riders and neckers. Yeah.
If they have, so they are next to each other, and then they are panorama. So you can put them next to each other, and then they complete the Landschaft.
Yeah, it seems like.
And you also may not underestimate, I mean, how the artwork is also how they are perceiving the game in general. Yeah, so it's really, they really put in a lot of effort. And it's also not, I mean, oh yeah, and this is also one thing, right? So before you play the game, you might also wonder, hey, how is the game? Does it even prolong? And maybe it just dies out like any other small card game which comes up and then dies again. But I'm actually not that sure whether this will really die out again, because at the moment there are already 100,000 players. And matter of fact, there are at least 100,000 players, and no, actually ranked players, because you can. I don't know whether you can. Can you see that here? No, you can. This only goes to 1,000, right? Because we saw our rank. What rank are you now? Do you?
Oh, what is it? 9K or something?
9K with 2,500. So there are like 100,000 ranked players, and those are no. But this is the thing, guys. Those are real players. So if you go on the leaderboard, you can exactly see who they are. I mean, they are real players. What I'm saying is, it's not just a number like, oh, we have 100,000 players. But these accounts really exist. Yeah. Okay. So 100,000 of them, and plus, because there are also the casual players who are not catched in the leaderboard, right?
Is that like the same like a Hearthstone ranked and casual mode? Or similar?
Actually, it's similar, but you don't. I mean, there are many things to it. I don't know how much I want to compare. I want to compare because it always goes into a kind of a rant, but yeah, it's. So this is just a standard system, MMR, which is also publicly open,
Yeah.
and which doesn't reset every month. I mean,
That is for the ranked match.
this is for the ranked match, yeah. And
It's just, and you just keep your MMR and that's it.
yeah, pretty much.
And do you get punished for not playing or something like that?
You don't need to get punished for not playing because MMR usually shifts up anyways.
Okay.
So, which means, I mean, at some point, if it's like really millions of games, maybe you could do something like a small decay, but I mean, usually it also, I mean, for example, chess is also working with a system which never decays. I mean, depending also on, of course, it doesn't matter, I don't want to go to
ranked match is basically with your deck against other ranked players. And what is a casual match?
Well, that is just without rating. It's the same, but without rating.
Why would anybody play without rating if you can play with rating?
Because you need to level up first to play with rating.
Okay.
No, not only. Like it's like in Hearthstone. You can also play casual.
But when you are catched on the leaderboard, you will get catched on the leaderboard at some point if you play casually, because you will have level 10 or something.
No, you can still continue to play casual matches. Even
Yes, but when you are catched on the leaderboard, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they will see. I mean, you have rating.
Yeah.
No, but then you can play casuals with casual games without changing.
But you're still on the leaderboard. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're still on the leaderboard, but it doesn't count. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay. So.
And a friend match is just that you choose your opponent and you're playing with a friend. It's just a friendly match.
Yeah.
Oh
Exactly.
yeah, we should do a friendly match. I play monsters.
Yeah. No, you can if you want. Sure.
You play the pipers now.
Yeah, I feel the build is pretty good. Yeah.
It's pretty good. I like it.
It's also over 4K now.
I saw it. Yeah, you played all night.
Yeah. No, I didn't play all night. I played all night Witcher 3, stupid as I am. I should have probably played Gwent, yeah, but I played Witcher 3. I didn't regret it, maybe.
Witcher 3 is pretty good.
Where are you? I've been here in bathhouse, where the guy just got dropped. The dude. Yeah, it's actually really suitable. Yeah. You're not at the bathhouse yet.
I don't know. Is it like in our?
Where the dude becomes robbed. Where is it? Here. Where is the dude? What is the dude? I don't even know what the faction of this. I think is it a leader? Somebody gets robbed of 20 tons of gold or something like this.
Yeah.
But you are not at the point, yeah?
What is multiplayer?
Multiplayer?
That was not there, but on the page before. Where
No, just multiplayer.
No, I did all the side quests. I didn't play the main story too much.
I'm really wondering, I mean, there should be a character here. Yeah, it's DJ. No,
DJ Adi.
Yeah, okay. Okay, then pronounce the name. Okay, pronounce the name. Yeah, okay, yeah, cool, okay. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, okay, whatever. Oh, he was, by the way, the guy who I meant with deal 7 damage here. That was which faction? Northern Realm. Here, this one. This one. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
He is probably even better than the 6/6 because you can.
Yeah, he's better.
You can clean swipe gen. Well, usually it's not. Usually, the more it removes, the better it becomes. Because 6/6 is usually better than 7/5.
But no 6 minutes you want to remove.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or the Bloody Barons also. So, but okay. So.
Okay, what's multiplayer now?
Yeah, it's just multiplayer. It's just.
2 people playing together.
Yeah, it's just like the standard mode. Single player would be like single player in Hearthstone is
I didn't know that.
against the Innkeeper. Single player would be against him.
Okay.
Oh, and putting that aside, of course, it's also a big company behind it. So not only over 100,000 players already in closed beta, which is absolutely insane, but just think about the broadband of Witcher 3 and how big Witcher 3 was. And then you can also think about what happens if a company which actually produced Witcher 3 is going into the card game section in a serious way. And they are going into this in a serious way, also committing a lot of tournaments, yeah, of course also, let's say, money and willingness to make it big. And also influence the competitive scene. So really, really happy about that. Okay. So, how hard is the game to understand? Yes, we will come to that point very quickly. It's absolutely understandable. Easy to understand, but hard to master. So there's definitely a big deepness in it. Very big deepness. You don't have a skill cap. I mean, you can get better and better. And it will also pay off. It doesn't result in micro edges later. But the better you understand the game, the better you will be able to get the games going. What? Wasn't it?
No, they figured out how to pronounce it Dijkstra. DJ.
Yeah, and there also seems to be an inherent interest in maybe exploring other games. Yeah. I'm just saying, usually if I stream other games, I had like always 300 watchers or something like this, which means there seems to be an inherent interest also to check out what's else on the market available at the moment. Okay, I'm also very happy that you tuned in. So, okay guys, so yeah, to the decks. Yeah, so you build a deck and yeah, so JayB goes to the coffee, but here to the deck. Every deck contains 25 cards. Yes, you can put in up to 40. So that's kind of... You have the freedom to put in more cards if you want to do so. Which is obviously in card games not the way to go. Because you are maxed out with the powerful cards at some point. Which means if you include additional cards, but that's a general principle, but I just do it very quickly. Right? So let's say you have cards which are strong cards, and let's say they would have value of 2. I'm just making up stuff, and then you have weak cards, and you have value of 1 for the weak cards, and you're allowed to put in let's say 5 strong cards. Then with 25 cards, you would have value of 5 times 2 plus 20 times 1. Makes a deck value of 30. If you divide the 30 by 25 cards, you have an average 1.2 in average per card draw. And now people could say, hey, why don't I just play, and this is like a beginner's mistake, why not just play, let's say, 35 cards? Because my deck value increases. Deck value becomes, instead of 30, I suddenly have 40 deck value. But the problem is, if you divide the 40 with 35, suddenly you see, if it's even like the, yeah, suddenly you see that your 1.2 are going down, and they're going down to 1.14. And if it's, so in average, it's just weaker. Every card you draw is weaker in average. So that simply means you should, in those games, if you have the freedom, you should play as little cards as possible.
Are you allowed to play them double or triple or?
Yeah, I come to that later, but I'm just saying you have the freedom. Yeah, it's not like that always you're getting babysitted. Yes, it's actually clever to do 25, and they could also. Okay, what I want to say is they don't babysit you like all the time. Yeah, so yes, of course it's dominated to put more than 25 cards, which means they could also say, hey, we are doing you a favor by just forbidding you to play more than 25 cards. But they just don't. If you want to play 40 cards, you are allowed to do that. Yeah. Yes, it's bad, but they allow you to do bad stuff because they don't infer that you're stupid. Yeah. And yeah, no, it's a big thing because that just shows the general game philosophy. Yeah. Do they make games? Okay, whatever. Let's continue. No, because these are things that make me mad. Yeah, you're getting okay, whatever. Here, gold cards. Gold cards. So you have 6 gold slots. Sorry, 4. You can put in 4 gold cards, 6 silver cards, and 0 bronze cards. Again, I don't think you have to. So if you don't want to play these gold cards, I'll just put in random cards. Hey, Marty.
Hey.
Okay. So yeah, ready to play. So you can play silver and gold cards, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Yeah, you can also just not. But you're capped at gold and silver cards, so you're not allowed to play more than 1 copy of each silver and gold card, and you're not allowed to play more than 4 gold cards and more than 6 silver cards. Obviously, the clever thing to do, because silver is better than bronze and gold is better than silver, you should usually max this out. So if you can, please play 4 gold cards, 6 silver cards, and of course 15 bronze cards. So with the gold cards, you have again faction gold cards or neutral gold cards. What is really good is you will very quickly be able to at least fill out your gold and silver slots, which means after, let's say, 3 weeks, probably after 2 weeks, you will have the ability to completely fill those out. And the benefit is that they are very, very similar in power level because they are not completely overpowered and completely underpowered cards. It doesn't really hurt you if you play, let's say, this Gerald instead of a Triss. So usually Triss is simply better than Gerald. They both have 12 stats, but Triss can remove stats from minions, which is usually better because you can disrupt the opponent. Which means if you have the choice to either play Triss, Marigold, or Gerald, you should always choose to play Triss. But if you play Gerald instead of Triss, it doesn't really hurt you. The same goes for Stefan. Stefan is a class card. It's very similar from the power level wise. So if you do Stefan instead of Triss, who cares? Then just play Stefan. It doesn't matter that much. Yeah. And that's also very, very cool. And also that's pretty much for nearly any gold card. So if you open Jennifer in one of your early packs, cool. Then just play Jennifer. It won't hurt you that much. Nearly not at all. So silver slot. The same goes here. Yeah.
How do you put them to different places here?
Right. So it's just about the game, and let's just play a game. I think that probably will explain it the best. So let's do a casual here, because so that I have the time to explain everything. Yeah. I mean, you can also just play the deck I play at the moment.
It's super complex, isn't it?
Nee.
No, I think this deck is actually not.
Nee, es sind aber nur eigentlich ganz normale Mechaniken und da nur die stärksten. Das ist echt nicht schwer.
Yeah. So every class is playable and every class is also being played. And they indeed, and this is also a beautiful thing in comparison to Hearthstone, that they also inherently doing different stuff. So it's not, I just describe it this way. So if a game or if classes are doing similar stuff, and that's kind of the case at the moment, and also whatever, yeah. So if classes are doing similar stuff, that probably results on specific classes being just better, and meta maybe not even counterable. Let's say definitely not counterable. We do have to do some mulligans. So you can mulligan 3 cards you would not like to play, or you would not like to have in your starting hand at the beginning. So they are probably not hard counterable, but definitely not harm. Specifically, will be just better and meta. Maybe then not soft counterable, but definitely not hard counterable. Yeah, and this is because, well, sure. I mean, let's do it in a very simple way. Yeah, and the very simple way would be. I just come to that. But a very simple way would be we just exclude everything from a game, and every class has the same minions with only stats. Yeah, so they only, let's say, they would only play stats. Then a class which has just access to better cards with better stats, for example, would just dominate the entire market. Yeah, and this is different in this game in Gwent. So classes are all doing perfectly different stuff. And inherently different stuff. They are not playing the same cards, and they are also, let's assume, a deck. Deck 1 beats deck 2, then deck 2 beats deck 3, and deck 3 might beat or will then again beat deck 1. Yeah. So the old rock paper scissor principle.
So what?
So that's the old rock paper scissor principle. But obviously it's a little bit more complex like this. Oh, should have not even played anything.
No. Okay.
No, we confirmed no advantage. I don't think so. I think it was not.
Only if you would call it done. When it carry over, so you basically invested 5, right? 5.
No. Like how we played it, we basically going into this turn with 2 card disadvantage. If we would have not played anything, 1 card, he plays 1 card, 0 cards, and Siri also dies -1, which means it's better to go into the next turn with us having
Siri on board. Yeah. Okay.
Ja.
Irgendwie mal Basics machen, bevor ihr hier das Third Level
Comes. I just want to say to the next, this is rock, paper, scissors, this is how it should be. Obviously it's not that easy in Gwent. Obviously it would be then that deck 3 wins over deck 5 and 6, but is not that good against deck 1 and deck 4 or whatever. Yeah, but you get the point. I mean, as long as the game doesn't have a structure where the rock, paper, scissor principle applies, it's really a problem. Yeah. What I'm just saying is this is not even rocket science. This is just a hygienic factor. This has to be in any kind of game. If a game misses to have this, it will just go down completely downhill. Yeah, because then it will result in a specific class being suddenly played a lot and other classes being suddenly unplayable. So, but yeah, that's okay. Yeah, no, but this is logic. This is just logic. I'm not even dissing here. I'm just saying. I mean, this is something. It's basic, and Gwent does fortunately have that. So to the game.
Thank you.
To the game. So we have different kinds of rounds, and we have 3 rounds every game. Yeah? And the goal of this game is to win 2 of what was this? Oh, here.
3 rounds.
Now I was just thinking what this does. So the goal of the game is to win 2 out of 3 rounds. Okay. So the first round we fortunately won.
Down there is your cards that you hold currently in your hand that you can play, yeah?
Exactly. We could even pass now. So the first round we won because we had more stats on the board than our opponent had. Yeah. So it's actually important at the end of the round to have more stats than your opponent does have.
And this is just the numbers on the cards, yeah?
Is the numbers on the cards accumulated?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So at the moment we have 6, 12, 18, 22.
Yes?
But he has only 5 stats on the board.
Yes.
Okay, so because we won the first round, so now we passed. And if we pass 1 time, if we pass 1 time, that basically means that we don't have any actions for the remaining of this turn. Which means he can now act freely until he matched our stats. Yeah.
So you have your 25 cards in your deck. This is the cards down there that you hold in your hand?
Yeah.
And you draw every round 1 card, or?
You draw, at the beginning of the game, you draw 10 cards.
Yes.
In the second round, you redraw, you draw 2 cards. And in the last round, you draw 1 card.
So you don't use all the cards of your deck?
That's not true.
You don't use all the cards of your deck. In specific decks,
Okay, I thought you would just draw and then your cards off.
No. Now we have 8 cards in the deck, and this will probably also stay like this.
Okay.
So, okay. So his ability of the classes, but we will come to that later. Yeah. So now you can see here the amount of cards in the hand. So he has 10 cards in the hand.
Yes.
And we have 12 cards in the hand.
Yes.
Which means we have just an indistinctive big card advantage. Really big. Yeah. A huge card advantage. And now we can just play these cards. And at the moment we are even ahead, so not only do we have card advantage, so it's the last turn, so we only need to win the last turn. And we have card advantage and board advantage, which is both good. And now we can just play stuff. Yeah.
Why don't you just play all the stuff?
We do. Every player always plays.
It matters though in which order you play it, because there are like counter cards to certain cards, so you have to have in mind what the opponent might play first, or what if you would play something, what he might counter it with. So there might be some especially strong mechanics you want to withhold for the last turn, so you can't counter it.
So like AoE effects.
AoE effects or like a trap or something. It's super cool.
Yeah, so in this case I should have discarded this, but whatever.
What is those different
them to a man?
Exactly, so these are the rows. So this game is based on 3 rows. Yeah, one is the siege row, one is the arrow row or whatever, crossbow row, and one is the melee row. Yeah. So you have these 3 different rows, and how it usually works is that you have these dudes which you can either deploy into. So there's a sign on the top left of the card, and this basically shows in which row you can play this card. So this card I can only play in the siege row.
We serve her who is virgin, mother and crone.
It's basically in the siege row.
So what? Should I pound it into a poker?
And now you could ask why this matters, and it matters if you, for example, have row buffers. So this is, for example, a row buffer.
How do you know it's a row buffer?
No, because it's written on the card. So it basically says, okay, it buffs the row, which means if I have a lot of cards in the back row, which I basically include into the deck on purpose, I would like to have inclusion of row buffers, for example. Or if my plan is to rather play it in a more controlled way without row buffers, I would rather like to distribute my minions over the rows. The reason for that is because there's also, of course, AoE, and if I don't have any row buffers myself, there's no reason to overload a specific row, because then we would make ourselves vulnerable to AoE.
The AoE is only row specific, or
it's always row specific.
Also, basically, they would just affect 1 row or maybe 2.
Yes.
Okay.
AoE usually affects one row, and there are also weather effects, and weather effects put all stats from one specific row to one. So that's also AoE again,
Okay.
basically.
Is there a limitation on how many cards you can put per row? Or altogether?
No limitation.
Okay.
You can just go all out.
Blood and neck ends. Similian Vart.
And these cards, if you it also goes always one player plays a card, the other player plays a card. One player plays a card, the other player plays a card. And as
The
such,
goddess protect you
you have
from all
basically a
evil.
round-based system.
Keep together.
So we play now a card like this, and now it's his turn.
But theoretically, the cards don't have a cost, so you can play as many cards as you wish.
Right. The cards don't have a cost. Right, exactly.
Okay.
So they are just doing what they
Slaughter them
do.
to a
So they
man.
don't cost mana specific or something.
And there's also no limitation. You could theoretically play your hand empty on turn 1
Keep
if you
together.
wanted to.
If you wanted to, yes. So, but it's a really nice interaction because it's really about this number here. So he always tries to overcome, and we basically counteract against this. Obviously now we are absolutely ahead, so now it doesn't really matter that much. But it's usually that's how it works. So you really have to pay attention for these numbers and that you don't overcommit or something like this.
But once you've passed one time, you have to keep passing in the future, so you cannot just check basically one round. You need to put something every round, even though when you are ahead. Correct?
Yeah.
That's true.
If it's 1-1. When it's the standing, everybody has 1-1 round, you're on round 3. Even if it's like that, if you would pass now and he could then do something, you wouldn't be allowed to do something again.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
so basically you need to
Once
do
you
something.
pass, you pass.
So basically you need to do something every turn, even though you are so far ahead.
That's very interesting because you have to do it. There are cards which like you can give the opponent and give you a card therefore what it gives him stats. Like, so you
Okay.
can like bridge these turns.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
So, wait, does he burn this road on?
With Igni?
Then that's so.
In 2 turns. Yeah, he will burn the road down if you wanna ask me. Yeah. You can bomb your own road.
Yeah, right.
How big will it get? 5, 5, 2?
Yeah, we have to bomb it, yeah.
Hey, listen here. Listen well.
Otherwise this will destroy 10 and then it will destroy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
9.
yeah, all 5, yeah. It's probably not what we want.
Oh.
The guy down there is your hero?
Oh, that's a hero, right, yeah.
Can he do something or is he just animated?
No, you
picture?
can use your hero one time every turn, basically.
Every game.
Every-
Every game.
And what does he do?
This guy basically shuffles cards into our graveyard, if you want to say so. So should we bomb here? It doesn't really matter, right? But
It doesn't really matter, but I think you should.
yeah, okay, so let's bomb this road. I hope you are aware what happens now. He's now everything. Yeah, I didn't have anything. Now we lose the game.
No, we do not lose the game.
Are you sure?
Or what if we will double the there we lose the game. How much we have? 14?
Everything alright?
It was obviously stupid to bomb the road.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure.
Hey, I fought the girl.
And here you see also mistakes impact the outcome of the game. So we were completely ahead. This was pretty much unlosable,
Why you fucked?
but because we misplayed it, we are now losing the game.
But big time.
I don't even know. It could have, I mean, no, not big time, not big time. We have here 17, so we could have equalized to 45. So if we would have not just bombed our own row,
But it's okay to see at least how we get.
absolutely,
And
absolutely. Oh, okay.
can you do another one?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sure. I mean,
Should explain the weather effects.
Well, we didn't have one. Did we have one?